Bonjour. Right, so last week, comic delivery was late, and this week it was on time, but I was late because I was away. So this is going to be a combined, going to do something just a little bit different, and normal service will resume next week with deep dives into 6 of the best. What I'm going to do is, in the last 2 weeks, there's been nearly 30 books. So I don't think anyone wants to see a mega epic deep dive into all that lot in one go. So for anyone who missed me, I'm back. And next week, normal service will resume. Thanks to everyone again. If you are giving me a little like, and especially if you're giving me a comment, I really appreciate it. Because at this level, you know what I'm going to say, at this level, we really need all the help we can get. And YouTube, the old algorithm, it doesn't work for you at this level. It just doesn't. And so, love you all for doing that. And if you are especially mental and you've pressed that subscribe button, I love you even more. Right, let's get into it. So let's start with last week's. End of an arc, Daredevil. Now, this has been a sensational arc, coinciding with Punisher as well. But this was a weird little one, really. This is just the epilogue. But you need it, and it sets up Daredevil. I mean, the final page was quite dark. I'll just give you, I know I said I wouldn't do deep dives, but you know me, I can't help but, this final page was, really, I know it probably doesn't, but he says, like, all I have left to do is die. Wow. Now that's an epilogue to 11 issues of one of the best Daredevil stories, but he has got to get back to it now. And I'm saying that about Punisher as well, if you remember. They've both got. I've been enjoying these arcs. They've lasted about a year. That's great. They've taken it in a totally different directions for both of these very, very grounded characters. This is the perfect opportunity now to reboot, redefine. I hope they're going to do it, because if they drag this out too much longer, we're going to be in Spider-Man territory, and this was last week as well. And Zeb Wells he's been really dragging this out. This is issue 25 now. I love John Romita Jr. And that's the reason I picked this book up. But with Care Andrews' artwork inside as well. Absolutely beautiful. Look at I know it's in a different kind of dimension and stuff, but look at his Mary Jane. I mean, this is Care Andrews. It's just, and the stuff he's done independently and for Marvel. John Romita Jr., Care Andrews. But again, get on with it. Someone who has got on with it, well, he has in this issue. Jeff Lemire, issue 3 of this. This really does go up a gear. If you haven't got this yet, I don't know if this is selling out or whether or not I'm going to do one of my recommended, when it comes out in a trade paperback. This really did kick off kind of into X-Files territory, introducing the FBI, looking at the shady goings on of the first 2 issues. But nevertheless, really enjoyed it. I'm going to say one of my favourite Jeff Lemire stories, and he's done a lot. I've enjoyed all of Lemire's work recently since getting back. This week but we get onto that. I won't dig it out for this week's, but is the last issue of Little Monsters, and that has been sensational, but not quite as sensational as this. The last issue of this story, you know how much, if you've watched any of my comic videos, you know how much I love this book. A very, very worthy final chapter to this. Is it a final? How can I describe it? Because it looks like it's just another chapter in the wider story of all these characters, like Geiger and now Junkyard Joe. That has been very, very superb. Issue 4 of Ambassadors. did that. This would have been probably out of last week's. It was probably going to be between Junkyard Joe and Ambassadors as comic book of the week. Olivier, is it Olivier Coipel? However you pronounce his name. Artwork superb. Really one of the best issues story wise. And Mark Miller, funnily enough, is finally pacing himself like properly and not and packing it in. He's packing in stories and characters into each issue. Really enjoying that, and it has got serialisation in TV written all over that one. Nothing bad about that. I'm not saying that as a detrimental thing. Whereas this, I think, is stretched out and he's kind of plodding on. I don't know why. I'm enjoying it. I'm not saying I don't like it, but you know, I'm enjoying Ambassadors a lot more. Now look at this cover. Look at that for a cover. Look, if this doesn't evoke memories of anyone sitting down and watching the first movie, and again, issue 33. I think I don't know if I reviewed issue 33. That's issue 34 last week. Vader loses his he's going mental, uncontrollable powers, and that's the aftermath, so to speak, with Sabe and etc. This, I don't know why I'm going to say I shouldn't really like it, but I do. I've always kind of had a little soft spot for Batman Beyond stuff, and beautiful Sean Murphy cover. Now the artist on this, Mirka Andolfo and Alejandro Sanchez on the colours, have done a absolutely beautiful job of that. Don't know if I can pick out but kind of a couple of standout pages. They're all kind of this is lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. And another little guilty pleasure of mine is always going to be Batman animated. Since the early days, since I just started getting them, and that's it. That was it for me. So it's not the Ty Templeton artwork on that. I've got to admit, it's a lovely, a very, very nice throwback to that original. And with that's the reason I'm picking the book up with Paul Dini on the writing duties on that. Got to have it. Gaiman and Buckingham, I don't know, on Miracle Man again. This is one I'm picking up. I think I'm picking this one up just on autopilot, if I'm honest. I can't say that's the best thing I've ever read from Neil Gaiman. It's a stand-up job by Mark Buckingham on the artwork. And again, and I've reviewed, I think I've done issue 1 of Clear. That continues to be glorious. Glorious. Like, properly my cup of tea on that with a dystopian, that kind of modern take, on Blade Runner and everything that involves a detective in the near future and everything. Now, what surprised me this week is the amount of DC books I am now picking up. World's Finest. Now, this continues to be, it's good old Mark Waid, Dan Moore on the artwork. This is a great storyline in this. If you're not picking this up, then please give it a go. This is like the third chapter in the latest storyline, so you'd be picking it up on, say, issue 13. Yeah, pick up issue 30 for the latest storyline, but go back to issue 1. Don't know what you're going to be doing with trade paperbacks on that. The aforementioned Little Monsters last issue of, and I'm sure they're going to be doing a second volume of this, but this finishes off, and this was a cracking final issue, because what I fear sometimes with these independents, the storylines that are self-contained, is that it's going to run out of steam. My God, Jeff Lemire didn't run out of steam with that Little Monsters. So that's 13 issues. I don't know if they're going to do a nice big chunky graphic novel for everyone. I imagine they will. Again, a recommendation. In and of itself, would it have been book of the week? No. But I think I think this might have been. This was a great. I am so enjoying these Dawn of these DC books, and it has caught me by surprise. I've never been a big DC fan. I've kind of jumped on bits and bobs every now and again, except Batman. Just leave Batman to one side. I'm saying DC, except Batman. Um, that's a great first issue. It's a great story. It's great artwork. It's I wouldn't say it's given us as much information as we need, like the other issues. They were beautiful jumping on points for people. That wasn't as beautiful a jumping on point, I've got to say, but leaves you with enough intrigue to want issue 2. You wasn't kind of scratching your head wondering what the hell's going on, but it just left enough to, what's he doing? What are they doing? Who is she? What's their relationship? Great. This one explained it very, very nicely. And again, one of the few DC books I picked up over the years was the Teen Titans when George Perez was on it. This harked back, but nice modern take. Action-packed issue 1. I'm really hoping that DC continue on this kind of traditional. I mean, traditional is not a dirty word. I don't think it should be a dirty word. Because what they seem to be doing with this Dawn of DC books is giving comic book readers what we want to read. Who knew? Who knew you could do that? And again, I know it's like, well, Dawn of DC. I know I think I did issue one of this. Issue 4, Superman. Great. I missed issue 2 of this. Moving on from DC, then you can tell how many DC books. How many other DC books are down here? Here we go. Let's get all the DC out of the way, shall we? Superb. Oh, look at that. I mean, it's a hefty old book, $7.99. I'm gonna say it's worth it. There's some great story and art combos. There are 1, 2, 3, 4. There's four different stories in there. Nice square bound format. Beautiful. So that's all the DC books. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, 5 in 1 week. That's some DC books for me, I tell you. And Dark Horse. I mean, I know I think I did a deep dive on this because of Jim Starlin. I'd skipped issue 2. This wasn't even last week because I've got issue 3 here as well. So basically, there we go. A recommendation written by Jim Starlin, creator of Thanos, and the one that kind of, I've done a Warlock video, the one that kind of drove Marvel's kind of cosmic centric. He kind of created that whole thing over there in the galaxy far, far away almost, with the cosmic Marvel characters. That's Jim Starlin, and you can see it's him. He's back. I will admit I haven't read this one yet, so I'm just going to say I'm intrigued to see that the Earth Divers. Obviously, the first 6 issues was the Kill Columbus storyline, Ice Age. I hope Scrat doesn't turn up, because it's quite a serious storyline. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it turned into something silly. I don't know why I said that. Red Goblin. Again, I don't know why I'm enjoying this storyline. Don't know why I'm enjoying it, but they are doing a bang up job in it. There is just enough in it with the old goblin hordes, and obviously gold goblin, whatever you call them, all the goblins. This is still great as well. I've done a deep dive on this before. Dark Ride, this, and it does exact. Do you know what? It does exactly what it says on the tin of this comic book. It's creepy. It's kind of building up each month. It is a slow burn. They're unraveling different characters or different character traits and what they're on about, and different threads to it every month. I really have enjoyed that. Issue 6, Hexware. Here we go. Last issue. Is it last? Yeah. End. Another recommendation. Little weird and wonderful. It's not going to be. It's not the best kind of sci-fi fact, but I don't know. I just enjoyed it on an almost young adult or young or teen, teen readers, whatever they do with the novels, like when they do like a young adults novels and all that. It's kind of on that level, but nevertheless, there's something about that and the main character of the girl who. Do you know what? I'm not going to give any spoilers because it's the girl and her relationship with the android that her family has that kind of creates the Hexware character. And that's all I'm going to give you on that, because that's 6 issues there. If you can pick that up, that is Image. Yeah. From Image, when they, that's only going to be a nice little slim. It won't be outrageous. Look at to get on in graphic novel or trade paperback, whatever you want to call it. So I do recommend. Issue 700 of Fantastic Four. Wow. Never thought I would have got round. I'll never be old enough to see issue 700. How they work out, I'd love to have a little glossary and how they've worked out on all the different series. Issue 700. Again, another lovely Alex Ross cover. Again, with Marvel, do you know what? They've got to get on with this now. They kind of do in this issue. Doctor Doom's here. It's issue 7. I've enjoyed. I think I've done a couple of deep dives on this so far. They must get on with it now. They've got to get on with it now. We've got, I get it. They're a family. That's the bit I love about it. And the first 3 or 4 issues were all their individual adventures, which I loved, to assemble the team and bring the family back together and give them there. But now they're unravelling it and Doctor Doom's involved. Of course, classic. Love it. But now, from issue 8 onwards, come on. Let's go. Don't fall down that trap that Zeb Wells has done with Amazing Spider-Man, which is, let's drag it out, man. Come on, let's get on with it. Let's fill up these books with oomph. Let's bring some new characters in. Let's bring a new villain in. Let's bring an old villain in. Whatever it is, but then let's get on with it. Like, I don't want to see a year's worth of 12 issues and it's just really one strand of a story. Leads into I'm going to be dead by the time they finish it. I'm in 2 minds about this. And I think it's because Johnny Blaze is always going to be my Ghost Rider. But nevertheless, I'm not going to say because of that, this one isn't any good. I think it was a solid first issue. Worth checking out. And it is nice artwork as well. Nice artwork and also colouring. I must say, Guru, EFX. Great name. At least I can pronounce it. But that is well worth checking out. But like I say, Johnny Blaze is my Ghost Rider. Obviously, you know how much I'm loving Kev Walker's artwork on this. This was I know it's issue 2, so when I say it's a follow-up to issue 1, don't roll your eyes and say, well, of course it is. But again, come on, Marvel, don't drop the ball on this. You've got something great going on here. It was a little an issue 2. Should it really feel like a little bit of a filler? Only a little bit of a filler. Still loving it, and as I'm flicking through it, there's all the great artwork and the new character and aliens abound and everything. So if I thought it was crap, I wouldn't literally be holding it up in front of the camera. Any of these. So if I'm giving it commentary, it's just to say that this wouldn't have got my 6 of the best this week. This one, I don't know what I was looking forward to. I have got a soft spot for this character. I really have. I don't know why, but this was a solid first issue as well. And I haven't got it behind me anyway. Have I put her? I think it's because I was having it's up there now. Maleficent. I don't know if you can see up on the far end of the cabinet. And that is it. I think that's 26, 28 books. And sorry, I'm not doing no deep. I would love to do deep dives on, but honestly, I don't think anyone's going to want to see me do 3 hours worth of what's it. And just something else I picked up this week. If you're a comic book fan, you're a Neil Adams fan, and if you can grab hold of this, I like getting these mags that just do. They do that kind of. It's almost like they've got this is a back issue, the comic called Back Issue. And they do a deep dive into Neil Adams, just at DC. So you're only getting the Batman, the Superman, Dead Man. Done all the mans, didn't he? I think he does women as well. He does womans as well. But I love that Green Lantern, Green Arrow from issue 76 and some different variations on the covers. Oh yes, Brave and the Bold. Yeah, if you. Again, I highly recommend that. It's got some old sketches and stuff from the archives and covers that didn't get published and stuff. So if you, like I say, Neil Adams was the man for me. Defined the modern Batman, again, for me, my opinion. But he did. Him and Denny O'Neil. Same thing with Green Arrow and Green Lantern. In the late 60s, early 70s, really did. So, yeah, back issue. There, but they've done a Neil Adams special. Love it. Absolutely love it. Obviously, nothing modern in there, but like I say, if you're a comic book fan and you love your back issues and you like the history of Batman and stuff and Green Lantern, Green Arrow, la la. On that note, I am going to leave it there. I know it's kind of a little bit short and sweet because it's 2 weeks worth. And I don't really like just doing the holding up to the what's it. So I'm going to, send out a quick apology. But it was just circumstances, and normal service is back next week. If you stuck with me this far, thank you ever so much. Please leave comments of any of these books that you've read, or you disagree with me. Come on, disagree with me, or tell me something that you did like that I haven't done. Even more important, to be fair, because I'd like to be recommended stuff that I may have missed, because I can't keep an eye on everything. I don't literally. What you see me review is what I buy. I haven't got access to, every book. And I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want that, to be fair. I wouldn't want to read every single book every week, and also waffle about it unnecessarily. Just the stuff I love, and all of this stuff is what I've bought, and in its own little ways, I'm recommending. So on that note, I will bid everyone adios.